Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Evil Hour, the all things survival horror podcast, including our experiences, thoughts, and hot takes. We're your hosts, the dudes and dudes, the horror enthusiasts, renegades of the underground. This guy over here.
I'm Dom/DDogCat36.
And I'm Sean Graves. And in today's episode, we are going to be discussing a in-house, in-chat subject. It's like, how do we say this? It's like the real horror stories, or like the real reasons why children rhymes, or what are they called? Like rhymes?
Yeah,
nursery rhymes, right? Yeah. Why, like children's nursery rhymes and the creepy true stories behind them.
Yeah. Do you remember who? Because I always said if we ever get recommendations, we'll give them a shout out. So do you remember who said that?
Yeah, actually, that was from Tommy Two Flames.
Okay, so shout out to Tommy for doing this or making this request, because we always tell you guys in every single episode, even at the ending of our episodes, if you have a suggestion that you want us to talk about topic wise, and or if you're commenting on our older videos, we want to hear your side of the story, and we want to put you guys in our podcast as well. So with that being said, shout out to Tommy for making this one happen.
And shout out to our moderators, Light Bright Indie, King J935, DDogCat, and myself moderating for him, and Sriracha Sauce. Not the ingredient, the person. Two separate things. Can you imagine that, like, every single time we say sriracha sauce on podcast, like, people think, like, what is wrong with these people in sriracha sauce? And, like, one...
I should probably mention that real quick. I'm sorry. Yeah, Sriracha Sauce is my wife, aka the moderator as well. So we're like 9 episodes deep, and they're probably all like, "Who the fuck is Sriracha Sauce?"
They're like, these guys really like their Sriracha Sauce. Like, let's send like. Could you imagine, like, if we got like mail and it was like just nothing but bottles of Sriracha Sauce?
Sponsorship, dude. Our first sponsorship is.
We would like to thank Sriracha Sauce, the person and the product.
Oh my god.
For this.
You know, apparently people use that for their ramen noodles. What the fuck is up with that?
So good.
Oh, you do it. Oh my god, I've never done it.
Yo, don't knock it till you tried it, okay? Like, don't knock it.
You're right. I can't talk that smack.
Well, put some drops in it. Like when I was on deployment, like you have to just church up everything, okay? Because everything is made
jail
bland.
Food at that point. Yeah.
You're not wrong. It actually really is jail food.
Yeah.
It is graded as jail food. So
you make that homemade walking tacos and shit bag and
smash them all together, so you have to put them on sprinkles. Yes.
All right. Anyway.
So D-Dog, any in-house DDogCat36 things that we can look out for in the near future?
Well, as you know, I've been live streaming a lot of Cry of Fear and been uploading a lot of Cry of Fear. So those of you who are a Cry of Fear fan, please tune in on that, because we have not beat the game yet.
Yo, so you recommended that game to me, and like I started playing it, and then there was like a moment where I was like, okay, there's a lot of controls to this, and I was also having some audio problems. And then I was watching your uploads, and I was like, oh, should I watch it? And I was like, I would like watch like little bits in between to just see like what the experience is, and of course moderating, you know, when I can. So like
no, absolutely. I know, like I love to see you in the chat when I'm playing that game, but me knowing that you're about to play this game yourself on live stream, I'm like, no, you're gonna get the spoilers, because I wanted this game to be fresh to you, because dude, it's hardcore. It is hardcore. But I forgot it's also an old school game. So when you can't go through the window, I'm like, oh yeah, back in the old PC days of my time, crouch jump was a thing.
Yeah, I've never done a crouch jump in my life.
Yeah, you have to crouch jump a lot in that game, by the way, so keep that in mind.
Well, and that's why they probably just put that at the very beginning, because they're expecting you to, like, if this is going to be your first obstacle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like...
And not only that, like, the time when the game came out, it's still that type of crouch jumping thing. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. What about you, man? Any in-house news on your side?
Well, I'm still healing from my runner's knee injury from about 2 weeks ago. So hopefully, like in the next 3 weeks, Life, Liberty, the Pursuit of Happiness will go down. There's a running club that I found locally. And it's killing me every single time they post like, hey, we're running this Saturday at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I can't go.
Bro, I feel you there because I don't have a motorcycle right now. I told you about this story. And dude, I went to Harley the other day to buy a shirt, and they're like, hey, we're doing a poker run, and it's really cool because they're doing like these amazing places around my area. That's not a far poker run. I'm used to them doing poker runs of like, oh yeah, you start here and then you go like right out to almost 2 hours out. But this one's like a local one, so like the most you ride out is like 30 minutes and then all the way back around. Anyway, moral of that is this, like, they gave me the flyer. I was like, yeah, you should come out. And like I look at my wife like, yeah, if only I had a fucking bike. Like, I would love to. But
you're like looking at the wifey going like this. You know, like, dude, can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Can I go?
Next year, unfortunately, is when we're getting it, but nah.
You know, it's next year. You got goal, you got time, you got, you know, all that. Right. You got perspective on that, so hell yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I am going to be looking forward to playing Cry Fear, right? Yeah. Cry Fear. And then October rolls. I'm also planning on going camping next month.
Oh hell yeah!
And so this Sunday, actually, since it's a 3-day weekend, I will be taking the boyfriend unit and I will be going to Camp World. And got the lists, got all the things, just got to look at it. Tomorrow is D&D night, so there's that. It seems to me like the campaign is coming to a close, so it'll be interesting to see how the story ends. That's really about it. Like, that takes me to October, and then after that, we're playing Silent Hill 2, the remake. God. Halloween's around the corner, and
that's what I'm trying to do, dude. It's like after Cry of Fear, I want to play Afraid of Monsters, which is technically like the sequel of Cry of Fear, but that came out in 2005. So Cry of Fear came out in 2012. So I want to play Afraid of.
Watching you play Cry Fear, I saw that there was this like other game that kind of looked the same, but it was different. Yeah. And then I was like, is this that? And then like I looked at it, and it was
made by the same person. But yeah, no, Afraid of Monsters is even more bizarre and twisted and fucked up and just so like just like you said, until October 8th comes around, or technically 6th because we pre-ordered it, so we get it 2 days before. But until then, it's just like after Cry of Fear, I might try to hit up Afraid of Monsters and then go from Silent Hill.
Right into that. Okay.
Yep.
Hell yeah. After Silent Hill 2, I have a couple. Actually, so I got the boyfriend unit. I don't know if I told you this, but I got the boyfriend unit locked in on a video game now.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So Man of Medan.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like boyfriend unit, he usually plays like platformer games and MMO, RPG, LMNOP games, and games that like the cameras don't swing. You know?
Side scrollers.
Yeah, because like it's motion sickness, and you know it takes about like 0.1 second, and then he's like, okay, wait, hold on, stop, and then I'm like, no, it's okay. So so I realized that like I love horror games much like you, and he knows that, and I've been trying to find a horror game that like we could both play together. Yeah. And so FMVs have been a thing, but then like I was trying to find like that video game thing, and I realized Dark Pictures Anthology, The Quarry, and what's the other one? Until Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so you can't control the camera. The camera is literally just a movie, but you can control where the characters move on that platform. And I was like, it's kind of Resident Evil-ish, but it's not Resident Evil-ish because, again, like Resident Evil, depending on which game you play, it gives you camera control a little bit, but it still it's still matted, if you will, like, you know, background, character moves on it, and then you move on to the next space. And we started off with Man of Medan, which is a it's based on a real mystery ship, and or ship that's lost to sea, and it's been fun. It's been like really fun for like actually like have him play most of the game, and then when it comes to the QTEs,
making his decisions and everything. Like I always respect FOVs. They're not for me because I'm much of a gamer more than watching a fucking movie in a game. But I don't judge them, because when you have something like In Your Sake, you know, it's still fun because you're like, okay, when I played it, this is the choices I made. So what is the choices that he/she will make? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I never even thought of it like that. You know, maybe me and the wife should actually try that out. See what she picks out. See who characters she kills off and shit. You know?
Or accidentally, because you know. So he's a PlayStation guy. I'm on Xbox, and so the QuickTime events are a little bit of a crunch for him. So he was just like, and I was like, hold on, I got you.
Where's B? Dude, I never understood people that get the controls mixed up, because I went from PlayStation to Xbox to PlayStation because I was a PlayStation friend. Everybody else around me owned Xbox. And I got so used to it because I'm like, literally, it's A is X. See, I don't even know the controllers. B is circle, Y is triangle, and what's the one I'm missing?
You got A, B, X, Y. X is square.
Oh, so X is square. So, A is X. Yeah, sorry, I got confused. So yeah, it's like I always knew where it was because it's literally the same controls, just different colors. Obviously, one's a shape, one's a letter. Yeah,
and like it's kind of a challenge if you're playing in the dark, as one should for a horror game, that like the buttons don't glow. You know, so like if you don't have like the glow, then you're kind of just mashing at 0.5 seconds, and this just happened. So yeah, man. All right, let's get into now. By the way, I just picked like 3 random children's nursery rhymes and looked into it and wrote down as much as I could about each one.
And just a reminder, you guys too, me and Sean doesn't know what we picked, just like any other podcast. We always talk about, we don't discuss what we talk about or anything.
We have like a subject matter, and then we just go.
Meet up, and then whatever happens.
And it's been working for almost a year.
Yeah, surprisingly, we never had the same answers. I don't want to jinx that, because even if we did, I mean, we could obviously go from different details. But yeah, no, surprisingly, so far, we just, like you said, we split off, and then the podcast day comes, and then we'll meet back up, and then we'll start it, and then it's like, oh, that's what you picked.
Yeah, right? Especially like the cryptids one. Well, I mean, you're in Ohio, and I'm like in California, so like clearly there's going to be different cryptids, if you will, but at the same time, like, I get it,
Oh no, I mean, we had a Bigfoot one, but ours was just like,
Greenfoot or whatever his name is.
Grassman.
Grassman. I was like, Grassleaf. I don't know, pick a Pokemon.
Okay. That's what I was about to say, dude. I was literally gonna say choose your starter. That's awesome. That's Squirtle's chilling right there, and Bulbasaur's right there, even though you can't see it on your screen, but you can see it on Discord.
All right,
dude, actually, real quick, I'm sorry. My wife drew me this for my...
Oh, that's so sweet.
Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So I started last time. I started last time, so you go ahead and go with this.
Okay, all right. So my first nursery rhyme is Knick Knack Paddywhack.
Okay, so that's funny, because as we just mentioned, I almost choose that one, but I didn't. Literally today, I almost choose that one.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick look up.
No, you're fine. While you're doing that, I'll keep it entertained. So
of the rhyme here, because
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, me neither, until just now. I was like, oh, it'd be like really like kind of busting is like if I read out loud what the rhyme was, and then we could talk about it. right?
Those of you that don't know the rhyme, I'm sorry to say this. I'm gonna come off as a dick, but you live under a rock. But
not necessarily.
Well, the main ones, like like obviously everybody should know Knick Knack Paddywhack.
3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my god, it goes all the way up to 10. I'm not doing this. I'm gonna read like the first like 2, maybe. That's like fine. It's the same thing, it's just different numbers essentially.
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
If you don't know Knick Knack Paddywhack, it's this old man. He played Knick Knack on my thumb with a Knick Knack Paddywhack, give a dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. And it goes so on, so on. So instead,
said corn back in '97.
Right. And so like for 2, it's shoe. For knee, for 3, it's knee. 4 is door. Everything else is the same. So Knick Knack Paddywhack. 5 is a hive. 6 is sticks. 7 is heaven. 8 is gate. 9 is spine. And then 10 is again. Yeah. And you start all over again.
Then it repeats. Yep.
So, come to find out, Knick Knack Paddywhack, when it comes to the name... Okay. Knick Knack means pots, pans, cutlery, and can also mean playing spoons for a penny.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paddy is not just like a... It's actually supposed to be a capital P. Paddy is an Irish last name.
Which I figured, yeah.
Yeah. So playing pots and pans or cutlery or, like the musical spoons, apparently this is what Paddy is doing, right?
Right.
But the idea is that you whack him for playing music.
Ah.
Right? And then
okay.
the next line is give a dog a bone. This goes into so this whole thing, this rhyme may have came from the English-Irish islands. And the reason why is because English was invading Ireland. It took some of its land, most of the good land that Ireland has.
Potatoes.
And then the potato famine happened, right? And so all these people are starving, right?
Yep.
And hold on. Is that my computer? I don't know.
Let me check in with you. Hold on.
Yeah, it was. I was hearing like some kind of commercial going down.
Oh.
So most people during this potato famine would rather give a dog a bone than feed their own fellow man.
Oh.
Yeah. So the idea is that Knick Knack was a sound effect or some kind of song that people were playing with pots and pans or spoons for money so they could get food to eat. But people would be annoyed by this.
Street art.
Yeah, right? But people would be annoyed by these people, and so Paddywhack, they would whack these people up against the head and just give a dog a bone than rather feed their fellow man.
Oh.
Yep.
That's deep.
So that is Knick Knack Paddywhack.
I like that. It was short, simple, sweet, to the point.
Yeah, but also like really random that like I don't know, man. Like
what the hell is this?
What's what?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Apparently, you could collab on Twitch.
Oh hell yeah! I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that too.
Okay. No, that's sweet, short, simple, to the point. I kind of like that. Like, and yeah, it's very deep meaning because it's like you'd rather give a dog a bone than. Yeah. Which, hey, feed the dogs. I'm all about helping animals, but like.
Yeah, but like during a what the hell is the word?
Pretty much a
famine.
raid, you might as well say. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's a very, to me, it does not help the English out very well.
No, you're very right.
Let me look this up. I was had it on the computer. I'm gonna put it on the phone right now because there was
you're fine.
One more point was again the numbers there like rhyming 1 and thumb, 2 and shoe. Like these are like things that like people were without.
Oh my gosh! So
because he kept on playing music for these things. So like for a shoe, so like the knee thing, playing spoons on a knee.
Oh my god.
Knick-knack on my door, so he was playing music at the door. On my hive, on my sticks, so like on trees and things like that. Heaven, so like, you know, obviously like hopefully they're not dying, but it's about the famine. You know, gates weren't safe, and spine, you know, like for about to die, you know, like
right.
It's a very, like, to me it's like one of those like rhymes that I was sitting here going like this. I've sang this before, like full-heartedly.
Oh, dude, I have a pretty sick and twisted one.
Yeah, what's yours?
Which I never. Mine is a Mary, Mary, quite contrary.
I've heard of this one, but like I've never actually never really looked into it.
Yeah, me neither, actually. Until we started doing this podcast. So this is what's cool and why I choose this one.
Okay.
So those of you who are horror fans / people who love just like what we talked about, ghost hunting and everything, Mary, Mary, quite contrary is the same as it's Bloody Mary. And those of you who know Bloody Mary, you go to the mirror, say it 3 times in the dark, and she shows up. Anyway, so Mary, Mary, quite contrary might be about Bloody Mary, the daughter of Henry I think this is the 8th. Yes, the daughter of Henry the 8th.
Okay.
And what the song is referencing about is her murdering the peasants. And it says, some say that the garden is reference to the graveyard that she was filling her matraries, aka her murders. And so this goes on a little deep, and I'm going to warn people right now because this is kind of TMI / it's a deep subject.
Okay.
But it says her silver bells represent thumb screws, and the conch shells are instruments of torture attachments to the male's genitals.
I've seen these.
Yes. You know what? Yeah.
You know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
And those pretty maids. They could be people lining up to be executed. Food for thought, and definitely one of the darkest nursery rhymes, it says. So,
dude, the English are like going...
Yeah, they did not give a single fuck.
No, they didn't.
That's all I really had on that one. There wasn't really much in depth of it, but I kind of liked it, and that's why I choose it. Because again, short, simple, sweet, to the point. But not only that, it's just like, wow.
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Something so innocent is like people getting executed / tortured.
Yeah, like I didn't think that Mary, Mary, quite contrary was Bloody Mary.
Yeah, me neither. I found that out today, actually.
Do you have the rhyme pulled up, perchance?
I do not. I was actually going to ask you if you wanted.
I can do that. I can do that right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Mary, quite contrary. So it's actually only 2 paragraphs of stanza. It says, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells, and pretty maids all in a row, and pretty maids all in a row. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells, and pretty maids in a row, and pretty maids in a row. So it's just the same paragraph over and over again. But
yeah, it's about people getting executed and shit.
Really?
And her burying their garden is the graveyard of her burying. That's so fucking demonic and twisted, dude. I know,
dude, what the flip? My next one is Rub-a-Dub-Dub.
Oh, what's about this one?
Okay.
I thought that one was pretty innocent. This is the first time I'm hearing this.
I remember being a kid and I would always see like the picture of like the 3 men in the bowl, or like in the teacup or whatever, and they're like all, I guess, sailors or whatever.
In the tub or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub, and who do they or oh my gosh, I'm reading dyslexic. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm a little bit dyslexic.
Dude, story of my life.
Right. Well, that just happened because they is the next word, but I was gonna say they, but think they, yeah. Words shift sometimes. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. Who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and all of them out to sea.
Right, so what's about that? Also, that's creepy. As soon as you said that, not to change the subject, apparently it's thunderstorming here because it just rolled. As soon as you said that final line, it just went like that was the creepiest shit for our podcast. I love it. Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so to some, the maid is the one who was in the tub and reference an old school peep show where men would pay to see women bathe in a tub.
Okay. Was this an actual thing?
So, yeah. So, actually, okay, so...
like a brothel?
How do I say this with... not a brothel. It's more like... Okay, so imagine you're a woman in ye olde days, and to take a bath, okay, what you would actually have is like a pan, and then you'd have water, and then you would just soak yourself. No, it's like it's not a tub. Those come a little bit later, but they were still around. It was more like just like a pan that you would just step into, and then you would just you would wash yourself off, and then you would suds up, and then you would just clean yourself down, and the water would just be in that pan below you, and then you would take that out. Okay.
Right.
And then tubs rolled around, and like those tubs are tub rooms. Some very nefarious men would of not morals such as us gentlemen on this lovely podcast would look through walls. They would like drill holes and peep to look at women who were taking baths. So the maid is the one who was in the tub and referencing an old school peep show where men would pay to see women bathe in a tub.
Yo, that's hardcore.
Right. And the others say that the 3 men were watching without consent regardless.
Oh my God.
Let me reread this. Let's hear this again. With that in mind, let's reread Rub-a-dub-dub. Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. And who do you think they be? The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, all of them out to sea. It's a bit of a stretch.
It sound like a Navy.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, not awesome, but you know what I mean. That's clever. It's
like, oh, that's awesome.
It's clever.
In context. that's a clever way of rhyming or putting things out there.
Speaking of which, 3. Unfortunately, this is my last one because I kind of find a third one for some.
Oh, really?
Like the other ones, I was just kind of like when I was reading, I was like that's just a normal Tuesday.
Yeah,
It didn't what I try to do for our podcast is actually like try to like get the wow effect. You know what I'm saying? And most of the nursery rhymes, I'm like, okay, that's dark, but like people could read that and just be like, oh my God. But then again, that's all you get. Like I'm trying to get that like, oh holy shit, you know? So anyway, speaking of which, a 3, I got 3 blind mice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what is this?
So,
no, hold on. Let me talk about 3 blind mice, because a year ago I was at this race called the Pumpkin Run, right? And it's a Halloween themed run, and I was dressed up as Batman. One lady was dressed up as the Scarecrow, like a lovely scarecrow, not a scary scarecrow. And then there was these 3 runners, and each of them looked like mice, and they had like black glasses on with like little canes, and they were dressed up as the 3 blind mice. It was super cute. There was like a dad and like the kid dressed up as sharks. Like it was so cool.
Like everybody knows 3 blind mice. Like it was even in Shrek, like with them bumping into each other, and you know, it's just a cute little nursery rhyme. But this is the actual nursery rhyme.
You would think.
Right, the actual story of it. So Three Blind Mice is about a vicious knife-wielding farmer's wife. But was she really a farmer's wife? And were her helplessness victims really mice? Sorry, I had to take some in there. That was
it's fine.
Tongue twister.
Mm-hmm.
One of the theory holds that they represent three Protestants, loyalists. I cannot say this word. Loyalists. Thank you. Who were accused of plotting against the Catholic Queen Mary in the 16th century, and she didn't cut off their tails, though instead she burnt them at the stake. And so one of the sweetest titles makes one of the very darkest nursery rhymes. That's all I have on that.
I pulled up the rhyme here.
Yeah, let's hear it. I haven't heard this one since I was a kid, actually. So I don't even remember how this one goes.
I don't remember this one either.
I remember it's like three blind mice, three. Let's hear it.
Three blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. I remember this part. Like that's like as far as I get.
Right.
They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Do you ever see such a sight in your life as three blind mice? I'm reading ahead just to make sure that it doesn't like.
Yeah, no,
it's the same. It's the same. It goes on loop.
Yeah, it repeats.
Yeah, it just repeats.
Which is typical nursery rhymes, because
I thought that
I mentioned earlier, like I wanted to bring up like Ring Around the Rosie, but like everybody kind of knows about that one. And actually, you're the one who told me that's about the plague and everything, which I did not know. But yeah, so like I wanted to bring that one up, but like that, like it's cool, but like Three Blind Mice is like holy shit, like three people actually went against the queen. And back in the 16th century, if you go against any king or queen, you already know what that's gonna resolve in. Oh yeah,
Aladdin.
Yep.
If you've ever seen The Dictator, I love The Dictator. It's such a great movie.
I always want to watch that movie. I have not watched it, dude.
It's so good.
I have not watched it. I want to see it.
Side note, there's a whole scene, Dom, where like he changes the meaning of positive and negative, good and bad to his name, because he is both good and bad.
Right.
The Dictator. And the Dictator's name is Aladdin.
Oh,
so then it cuts to this scene where there's like a doctor and a patient in like an examination room, and the doctor goes, your HIV test, it has come back HIV Aladdin. And the patient like goes from like a smile to like a concerned face back to a smile to like he's like, Aladdin? And he goes, and the doctor goes, yes, HIV Aladdin. Swear to God.
I don't know how to take that, man.
It's so good.
Oh man, I know. I heard that movie is hilarious. I actually heard that movie got him in some serious trouble too.
Yeah. I love it. I love if a movie
like Bull Rat really got some people in trouble.
Or I love the Bruno movie where he like gets into like the camo, but he's wearing like a Gucci and Gabbana or Dolce and Gabbana. He wears a Dolce and Gabbana belt, and the drill sergeant's like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "It's Dolce and Gabbana." Like,
classic.
Okay, so for my third nursery rhyme of dark nursery rhymes, here we go round the mulberry bush. This one piqued my interest because, like you said prior to, the one about Ring Around the Rosie, everybody knows that one, right? But here we go around the mulberry bush. I've heard of this one, and then like I again, like maybe like a sentence or two, but like not the whole thing. And it's a rather long one, but here, like, I'll read it. I'll condense the rhyme down.
Okay.
But for most of it, it's here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush. That's all I remember. Here we go round the mulberry bush on a cold and frosty morning. And then it says, this is the way we wash our face, wash our face, wash our face. This is the way we wash our face on a cold and frosty morning.
Right. Now I remember this.
Back to mulberry bush. This is the way we brush our teeth. So on and so forth. And then back to mulberry bush. This is the way we comb our hair. Comb our hair, comb our hair. Back to mulberry bush. This is the way we put on our clothes, put on our clothes, put on our clothes on a cold and frosty morning. And then back to here we go round the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush, the mulberry bush in early cold and frosty morning.
Right.
Apparently, according to historians, the song originated with female prisoners who would exercise around a mulberry tree at the jail they were held in.
Holy fuck.
So imagine, if you will, like they're going around this mulberry bush for exercise in the yard, right? It's more like it's not really a bush, it's a tree. But right. The point is that like these women would create this rhyme, if you will, like this is the way we brush our teeth, you know?
Oh my god.
This is the way we put on our clothes. This is the way we
dude,
comb our hair. You know, like all these like human patterns. It's like, okay, so we're teaching our kids how to brush their teeth, comb their hair, wash their face, put on clothes.
Talking about prison / jail.
Yeah, but then this is the way we go around the mulberry tree, is the exercise they would do just to get some kind of energy out at this alleged women's imprisonment, right?
I like that though.
Right? I was like, ooh.
Again, clever, so clever. How do people think of these?
Well, and also on top of that, I was thinking to myself, like, so all it took was some jailer or maybe someone who eventually got out to just say, oh, this is what we used to sing to each other because we didn't have a radio, or like, you know, we had to create our own music, so here we go, like here's our own rhyme. And someone goes, this is perfect for telling children how to, you know,
also
be civilized,
Elvis
or something
took
like
that shit. You didn't know that?
Wait, what?
Elvis, most of Elvis's songs are made from a prisoner who, I'll tell you about that.
No, tell me about it now.
Well, it's kind of. I'll explain. Yeah, I'll explain.
Oh, okay. Wait, is this how like Jailhouse Rock came out as like a thing?
Yep. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll wait till.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Nothing against anything, but I just rather not say it over the podcast.
So essentially, a lot of like, well, I also know that a lot of his music was also like written not by him but by other artists, and then he would. Yeah. Well, he also did a lot of like I want to say it's cultural appropriation, because a lot of the songs were written by other artists of other color, and I'm not gonna say he didn't borrow.
Okay, so that's what I was actually going to say. So Jailhouse Rock was actually written by another colored guy in jail, and he sold his music and everything, and also other music that different color, because I hate to say it, but in the 1950s you could do that and get away with it.
And not only just that, but like at the time, we're like so now on like to Elvis and bashing him, but like
no, you're fine, because this is exactly what kind of merry-go-round goes about, because it's about,
for sure,
you know, people life in prison. So.
Yeah, no, and for sure, like at the time, especially in Elvis's days, like unfortunately, like if you weren't a white celebrity, you weren't getting like the spotlight hit on you as hard as like
so
it should
how
be,
popular,
you know?
Jailhouse Rock is.
Yeah.
Yep. Got stolen.
Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy shit. So yeah,
sucks.
Just like merry-go-round, or not merry-go-round, sorry. Just
mulberry
like the
tree.
Mulberry.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's about, like you said, it's probably about people's life living in there and stuff like that. Well, it's not that is what it's about. That's legit what it's about. But probably somebody took it and was just like, hey, I've seen it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for real. Which one do you think was like quite possibly for you, like the the most shocking for you?
Honestly, all of yours actually. I'm not gonna lie there. All of yours really got me, but the one that really got me was the Mary Mary Quite Contrary, because that one was pretty fucked up, man. I mean, the torture and the garden and the graveyard, like, ugh.
I wonder how much of that is actually true. I've never like gotten into like the crown,
right?
Or like kings, queens, and all those things. Like normally, like that kind of history, like there's too many. There's too many people of the same first names because they all want to be as great as the last person, and there's also too many numbers. So I'm sitting there
the thing
like,
that just bothers me / like I'm like, whatever, dude. That I just hate about it is like, obviously they married their cousins and everything because they want to keep the royalty in the family.
Yeah.
And it like, I'm like, what the fuck ever, man. So yeah, I never really got into that stuff either because of that. And you know, I just love, I'm not about it.
Like, I don't care like how many like family trees are out there for like the royal family. I cannot to this day still follow it. Like it doesn't historically make sense to me. But for some reason, American presidents, I could tell, like, it's so easy because it's only 8 years, maybe 4. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's so simple.
It's just like, even if they did a bad term, you know, get the fuck rid of them. Let's put in the other one, you know?
Yeah, like
this one is just like, this old bitch is 110 and she's still rolling this fucking.
And like everybody else, like every prince or every princess, it's like just sitting there just going like, I cannot believe I have to wait until I'm 80 to do what to finally put on.
And by the way, have I introduced you my cousin, aka my husband?
Thrice
because
removed.
He's rich as fuck.
Thrice removed, by the way. Yeah.
Of course, his name is William the Second /.5.
There's always a William. There's not even like really cool names out there. Like I don't know.
Dude.
Like Summer.
I want a fucking Santana. Like Santana's rocking that shit overseas, bro.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Right? One of the rhymes that like got me, like perked my Scooby ears up really, really hard was the Rub-a-Dub-Dub one. Because to me, like, I always have like associations of like pictures with like music or like some kind of visual with the rhyme. And so I always saw, like I said, like 3 men in like a teacup or like some kind of like bowl or something like that.
Yeah.
And
like I said too, they make it sound like it's an actual Navy story, you know? So
and like finding out that it was essentially just a gentleman's peep show.
Peeper. Yeah. It like, just amazes me how some shit could be very clever and very I hate to say it, but like the dark history is behind it and now it's made for children. But like that is not made for children now. You know?
Like all 6 of what we just like covered is like, I would say if you it's weird. It's like that conversation that I've had this conversation before where it's like holding today's standards up to things that happened in the past. Like, you know, you kind of have to look at like the art for what it is, the lyric or like the rhyme for what it is, and like parse out like, is this really as detrimental as it is, full well knowing now like what the history of it is, like for example women in a jailhouse, you know, and telling each other like this is the way we do things at this jailhouse.
That's deep.
Or even Knick Knack Paddywhack being about the famine. I keep on saying fathom, and I'm like, I want to say fathom, but a fathom is a length of chain. In water, like a fathom is a length of, or no, I'm sorry, a shot is a length of chain, and a fathom is a depth in water. I apologize for all my sailors out there. I'm sorry about that, guys. But yeah, like it was one of those things where like learning that part of it, and then like going back to like classics like C.S. Lewis or like Lewis Carroll, like especially Lewis Carroll because of his Alice in Wonderland book. Like there's poems in it, and it's like, okay, you know, I know that it was written in a time frame where it was like he was telling stories about the kids that lived at the university. but like making it into an adventure for like Alice specifically.
Oh
Alice
yeah,
Little.
I don't care who you are. I never actually looked at the back history of Alice, but that dude definitely tripped on acid. I don't care who you are, because that whole Alice in Wonderland, I love it to death.
Yeah.
But you can't tell me that dude was sober.
No, he couldn't have been. And like,
me.
I like at the same time, like he was definitely a character, and it makes me want to go back to like the poems in that book, and like try to figure out like what does he actually probably mean, like where is he at, like at this time frame, or what's
well, that's
politically
like Edgar
happening.
Allan Poe, man.
Yeah.
When he died, I might butcher this, so if I do, I'm sorry for you fans out there, but I'm pretty sure once he died, in his pipe they found crack, marijuana, and other drugs in it, along with tobacco in his pipe. And I'm like, this dude was the art of goth.
Yeah.
And this guy's smoking crack and shit.
Yeah.
Which, of course, so back then it was probably medicine. I hate to say it, but
yeah. Opium was technically considered medicine back then, and I mean that's where like opium dens come from.
Hell, there was an old commercial that, getting off topic here, but there was an old commercial that me and my wife actually seen the other day, because sometimes, you know, browsing through the old YouTube, you see that one thumbnail, you gotta click on it. Right. And back in like the 1960s, they were recommending, if your kid's starting to teeth and everything and they're crying because they're teething, they recommended rubbing cocaine on their gums so it numbs it.
No, use whiskey.
Imagine that. Oh, and that too. There was another one of that too, is whiskey on their gums and shit. And I was like, holy fuck, like okay, that was normal.
This is like maybe this is like a me thing. No, I've heard some really crazy shenanigans. So for me, whiskey is like it gets the job done.
Yeah,
but
you take
like,
a shot of whiskey, bite the rag, and they're gonna rip the bullet out.
The baby is not taking a shot of whiskey, okay? It's barely even doing that. It's literally just the alcohol that's just rubbing up against the gums, and then like that in itself is what essentially takes care of the nerves that are getting all excited there. No. When I lived in Oklahoma, I met a guy who he was so old school. He was just like, yeah, when I was a kid, for teething, we used to use squirrel brains to chew on.
My God. You want to know how redneck my fucking side of the town is? We had a guy here who his baby started teething really bad and everything, and he put a brand new wrench in the freezer, and then got it out like hours later and let his like kid just teeth on it. That's how redneck we are here.
That ain't right.
On wrench.
That is not right. Oh my God. That is not right.
That's a thing. Everybody else was kind of giving that look too, like, what the fuck is your kid chewing on and why?
Like, my left eye is about to start twitching. Like, earlier today, so off topic. Earlier today, I went to go get a couple of friends, because they're having babies. My friends have decided to have babies, and they did not ask me for permission.
Shame on them motherfuckers. I hate when that happens.
Right. And so while I was at the grocery store, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy my friends some newborn baby gifts. I don't know what, but we'll get there. And so I'm there. Yeah, so like if you need to start buying diapers like immediately, right? Stack up as much as you can, because they'll just go right through it. And so I'm at the aisle, and this lady rolls up, and she's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "There's a lot to pick." And she goes, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't know which ones to get. Like, there's so many different brands, and there's so many different styles, and who knows what's it." And she goes, "I can understand that." I was like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, here's where I'm at in life." And she goes, "What's up?" Total stranger, by the way. And I told her, I was like, you know, like when you send your boyfriend to go get you like feminine products, right? And all you told him was, "Can you get some pads or whatever?" And he doesn't have a brand. He doesn't have a flow type. He doesn't have like a, whatever it is that needs to be like, it could be tampons or pads. I don't know. But anyway, point is like, all he knows is girlfriend, fiance, wife thing needs this item. And So bless your boyfriend, fiance, husband's heart, but he gets obviously the wrong item because like we don't know what we're getting. We don't know what we're purchasing. And like all we had was like buy milk. You know?
Right, yeah. I'm gonna get either 2% or 1%. I don't fucking know.
Right. And so like here I am looking at diapers and I'm like,
yeah, because you got like the 0 to 3 month old, the 3 month to 6 month old, the 6 month to whatever, you know, like yeah, you have a lot.
Yeah. That's where I was at. She starts laughing. She's like, okay, no worries. You want this one. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh, sweet. At least there's always a lady to help you.
Yeah, for real. And then I walk around the corner to like the other side of the aisle and sure as hell there's tampons and pads and everything like right there on the walls. And I'm like, that looks exactly like the same horror show I just saw over at the baby aisle. There's just so many options.
Right. You know? This is why sometimes I'm glad I'm a guy.
Right. Right. All right, man. Well, thank you so much to everyone for the fun, awesome
absolutely.
Subject matter. It was actually really fun to deep dive into rhymes, dive into.
Honestly, I'm very humble how like short and sweet and simple this one was. Honestly.
Yeah,
not
for real.
Too long, not too short. Like, I have fun with this.
Yeah, me too. Like, I actually learned a lot about like a lot of these things came from the old English, and like I was just like really shocked by like how much cross-cultural differences are there. You know, kind of like
quick question before we end this. Do you think when kids used to sing these songs, like let's just say back in the 17th, 16th century, you think they would get in trouble? Like, hey, don't like that's like. Do you think like this was like their bad karma? Like, hey, if you start singing that, like shit's gonna happen again? Or
I have no idea.
What I'm saying? Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, do you think like kids were playing and singing "Ring Around the Rosie" and like the parents were like, "Hey, no," you know?
No,
like, think about that. Think about it.
Yeah. I'm still saying no. I'm still thinking that it was too.
You don't think so?
I think kids are too innocent to know any better.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think kids would have had known any better.
All right. Yeah. Or maybe these just happened like years after everything, like hundreds of years, you know?
Probably. Because it's kind of like Yankee Doodle. Like, you know, the old song, Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni.
Okay.
Okay. So
I remember the first sentence.
So okay, last one. So Yankee Doodle is actually a political song that the British made about the Americans.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yankee Doodle, Yankees, we're Yankees, right?
Oh my god. Yep.
Okay. So Doodle is a name. It's what it is, Yankee Doodle. He went to town, riding on not a horse, but a pony. Stuck a feather in his cap and called it macaroni. What does this mean? Apparently the British thought it was too strange for a person to put a feather in their hat. And why it's called macaroni is because macaroni was a different word for saying gay, or, you know, the hard F word. Queer, if you will. It's very queer. So, yeah.
Really? And now, like, the people with the feather in the hat are pimps.
Right. you know, rolling out, you know, stacks, right? But like, yeah, they were. It was a political song to try to make the Yankees, the Americans, out to be the weird ones, or to be the ones that are like, oh, you don't want to be like them. You don't want to be like a Yankee.
Damn, bro.
But we're over here in America go like, Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. You know, like we're just like bumping that. Yeah, we're bumping Yankee Doodle for like no reason. And like I remember being a kid and I just thought it was a cute song.
Right. I never knew that. I'm 25 years old and I never knew that until now.
It just completely lost its meaning in 2024. You know, like unless if you go out and actively remember, or you know, it's like it's one of those weird ones where I was like, really, macaroni? That was a terminology for saying gay. And not in the, you know, we're happy, like, make the Yuletide gay. Right. It's more like, hey!
Can we talk about, like, the 50s when you were saying I'm so gay? And then was like, hey, I'm so happy today.
Yeah. Because like when people sang that in songs, like I listen to 1940s music, in just for background music, and you hear a lot of people use the word gay in lyric form, and what they mean is just happiness, or like in Spanish music, there's joya, or there's alegría. I love the word alegría. It means happiness, like overwhelming happiness.
I had to bring this up, but I always hated it because when I was a kid, everybody always brought it up, especially when you use it. But if you say the hard F word, they would be like, oh, it's a bundle of sticks or it's a cigarette. I'm like,
yeah, right. Like, I mean, that is like from the 1940s.
Right,
so those words like lost that meaning, and that's why I think a lot of this, like, these rhymes here for children lost their meaning because so much time has passed that it's a mulberry tree. Man,
that's deep. Well, that's this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. We've learned a lot today.
Hell yeah.
Some of it was quite haunting as well, man. So everyone, thank you all so much for watching, for listening, for doing all the things and checking out our podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the bell notification on our YouTube channel, and thank you to the moderators, D-Dog Cat, Light Bright Indy, King J935, and Sriracha Sauce as well. The person, not the sauce. And
also you yourself.
Oh yeah, I keep on forgetting. Dom, any last notes there? Where people can follow you.
I always, just like you, man, I always forget about this part. So obviously follow me on DDogCat36 on Twitch and YouTube and much more. So that's what I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm live.
Hell yeah. I will be live next Monday and Wednesday. I might do like a pop-up on Sunday depending on my schedule. And
what you playing?
I will be probably just jumping right into Cry Fear for you, my dude.
I'm so excited.
Right? And let's see. Follow me on Sean Graves on all the socials, or Sean Graves Music, or etc. SeanGraves.net. I've been updating my website a little harder these days and making it a little more profesh. And doing artsy fartsy shit.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, guys. Thank you all so much. Oh, by the way, I keep on forgetting this part. Dom, this is usually your thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you guys have suggestions, or you guys also have nursery rhymes that you know that we did not list in this podcast, make sure you go ahead and tell us so we can feature you into our next video. Because if we get enough of you mentioning said topic in any of our podcasts later on down the road, we want to make a singular podcast featuring yourself and giving you guys shout outs.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, this was totally organic and totally off the wall, so I had a whole lot of fun with just the idea of it. Thank you, Tommy Two Flames, again.
Yes.
And all right.
He wasn't in here this time to hear it.
Yeah, I know, right?
He'll hear it later.
Don't forget to follow the Evil Hour podcast on Twitter as well. We have a Twitter account and a YouTube channel as well. So, yeah. Till then, next time, guys, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, don't pollute. I'll see you all next time.